The pen, my friends, as many of you might know for sure, is mightier than the sword. And even though this is actually nothing to do with today's product, I think this hint might have given away what the Adonit Droid for Android might be. And I'm pretty sure by now you've guessed it. Yes, it is a stylus. As a matter of fact, a passive one with a disk system. Quite a while ago I reviewed the Mixo active stylus, which costed slightly over 20 bucks and had a normal tip, but it was battery powered. What I'm not gonna tell you just yet though is what this costs, but I'm actually gonna ask you, what do you think it costs? What do you think it should cost? And do you have an actual purpose for it? Since I don't, I can't really give you a recommendation of if you should go out and buy it or not. But I can give you all the information that you can judge based on that. First of all, let's start with the design and build quality, and I have to say I really like the design because the thickness is great. It's not too thick or too thin. You can easily hold it in your hand, especially if you use the back part here. It also feels more like a normal pen, but also, as you can see in terms of execution, the thread has been done really well. And it just looks very luxurious, actually quite premium, and I like that. Now the tip, 4.75 millimeters thick, and with this you have one advantage over the normal ones, because you're not really dependent on the angle that you use it with. As you can see, you can move it and it still works. Since it is made for Android devices, I've tried on a bunch of phones and it worked without any issues, you can see that. But you shouldn't be all too fast, because if I try to write on it, and since we don't have palm rejection, you will have to hover over the screen. You can't write too fast because it just always doesn't react. So you have to get used to it, you have to type a little bit slower, but then it works out just fine. How useful that is for you without any proper display support on its own, since the stylus does everything. I want to also let you know if it works on different devices. There, it shouldn't, at least it doesn't have to work. Now this is the iPad Air 2, so not the one with the pen support. So does it work? Yes, it does. Once I got rid of the grease, since my oleophobic of my iPad Air 2 is very weak, it worked out just fine. As you can see, we can also write. No problem. Not that the sentence makes any sense. So it works on this one as well. No palm rejection will make it quite hard though. Now, does it work on a touchscreen enabled laptop? I can tell you that it does work for scrolling, but it's not one smooth animation, because as you can see here, sometimes you can see that it is not one consistent movement. It sees it as many different ones, which I guess leads to the fact that you can't use this for drawing. You can use it for pointing, but you can't really use it for drawing. I actually once got it to do many little points, one after another, but not really. Now, obviously, with the normal stylus it works, and this is actually something that I have to let you know. Adonit doesn't make just styli like these, but it also makes one for laptops, it makes one for the iPad Pro, and it makes for some for like the Surface devices. So they know what they are doing in terms of styling. That's what they have been focusing on. Now let's get to the price thing. I'm gonna let you know what it is right now. $25 for this. And if you want to replace the tip, it's 15 additional bucks, which in this case you could actually already buy a new one. I think it's not really cheap. I think the size, especially compared to a normal stylus, is really well done. But let me know in the comments if you think this is maybe too much, if it's just priced right. I mean, just for the execution of the design and of the build quality, it might be it. But the fact that you have to hover, that you don't have any pressure point, you can't blame it on the stylus. You have to blame it on the technique they are using, and that screens just don't support it. But yeah, that just makes it, at least in my opinion, yeah, a mixed bag. And this is where I'm gonna leave it. You can let me know in the comments what you think, and I would really like you to do that. Okay, until next time, bye.